In a small village in Ghana, nestled among the rolling hills and whispering palms, there lived a young girl named Abena. Born with a radiant smile and a soul as pure as the morning dew, Abena had been blind since birth. Her father, Kwame, adored her and called her his Nyama's light, God's light, for she seemed to see the world through her heart instead of her eyes. But Abena's life was not a simple one. Her mother had died when she was just a child, leaving Kwame to care for her alone. Lonely and seeking companionship, Kwame remarried a woman named Efua, a widow with a sharp tongue and a darker heart. Efua quickly grew resentful of Abena, seeing her blindness as a burden and her beauty as a threat to her own daughters, Amma and Essie. Efua treated Abena like a servant. While Amma and Essie played in the fields or braided each other's hair, Abena was forced to sweep, fetch water, and cook meals she was rarely allowed to eat. Despite her blindness, Abena never complained. She hummed to herself as she worked, finding solace in the songs her mother had taught her. "You're useless, girl," Efua would sneer. "Blind and clumsy. Why couldn't you have died with your mother?" Kwame, oblivious to much of the abuse, often worked long hours in the fields. When he was home, Efua masked her cruelty with sweet words and false smiles. One fateful day, Efua's jealousy turned sinister. A wealthy merchant visited the village, seeking a bride for his son. He had heard of Abena's beauty and her virtuous heart, and he was eager to meet her. Efua was enraged. "Why would anyone choose a blind girl over my daughters?" she fumed. Driven by hatred, she devised a plan to rid herself of Abena once and for all. Efua ordered Abena to carry a pot of water to the farthest well in the village, a well surrounded by thorny bushes and said to be cursed. "Do not return until you have fetched the purest water," Efua commanded, her voice dripping with malice. Trusting her stepmother, Abena obeyed. She stumbled through the forest, her feet bleeding from sharp stones, her hands outstretched to feel her way. Finally, she reached the well, but as she leaned over to draw water, Efua's daughters, hiding in the shadows, pushed her in. The cold water swallowed Abena's scream. The girls ran back to their mother, triumphant. What Efua and her daughters did not know was that the well was not cursed but enchanted. Deep within its waters lived a spirit, an ancient being who had watched over the village for centuries. When Abena fell, the spirit caught her and cradled her gently. "Why are you here, child?" the spirit asked, its voice resonating like a drumbeat. Through chattering teeth, Abena explained her plight. The spirit listened, moved by her resilience and purity of heart. "You are not destined to die here," the spirit declared. "Your suffering will be the root of your triumph." With a wave of its hand, the spirit transformed Abena. Her eyes, once clouded, now shone like the morning sun. Her torn clothes were replaced with a robe of gold and kente cloth. In her hands appeared a staff of ebony, studded with precious stones. "Return to your village," the spirit said. "Your story is not yet over." When Abena emerged from the forest, the villagers gasped. They had heard rumors of her death and now saw her standing before them, radiant and strong. Her father wept with joy, falling to his knees. Efua and her daughters, however, were paralyzed with fear. They tried to deny their role in her disappearance, but Abena's newfound sight allowed her to see the guilt etched on their faces. Abena did not seek revenge. Instead, she forgave them publicly, saying, "The darkness in your hearts has already punished you. I will not add to it." But the spirit's blessing did not end there. Abena's golden robe caught the attention of a passing caravan of traders, who marveled at its craftsmanship. They offered her riches in exchange for its design, and soon Abena's fame spread far and wide. A new beginning, Abena used her wealth to build schools and hospitals, ensuring that no child, blind or sighted, would ever feel like a burden. She became a symbol of hope and resilience, her name spoken with reverence throughout Ghana. As for Efua and her daughters, they lived in shame, their greed and malice exposed. Though Abena never sought to harm them, they were haunted by their actions and the knowledge that they had tried to destroy someone who only ever showed them kindness. Years later, as an old woman, Abena would sit beneath the shade of a baobab tree, surrounded by children eager to hear her story. She would tell them, "Even in the darkest times, there is light. Even in the deepest wells, there is hope. Never let the cruelty of others dim your inner flame." And so, the tale of Abena, the blind girl who saw beyond darkness, became a cherished legend, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of forgiveness, resilience, and the belief that even the greatest hardships can lead to unimaginable blessings.